Hey, friend, it's Zitterbart Escher-Bach, and you are about to hear a deep dive about Shen, which are entities in Chinese medicine, and quantum mechanics. I hope you enjoy. Thanks.
Welcome to another deep dive.
Huh?
Today, we're going to be exploring the ancient concept of Shen from traditional Chinese medicine.
Okay.
But get this,
Right.
we're going to see how it connects to modern physics,
Oh, wow.
specifically quantum mechanics and relativity.
Okay.
We'll be drawing insights from these notes on the Shentegrity Framework, which attempts to bridge the gap between these seemingly different worlds.
Yeah.
So can ancient wisdom about the human spirit actually find a home in cutting-edge physics?
Interesting question.
Let's find out.
Okay.
First things first,
Yeah.
what exactly is Shen?
So in traditional Chinese medicine,
Yeah.
Shen is often translated as spirit or mind,
Okay,
but it's much richer than that.
I see.
Think of it as the force of awareness,
Okay.
consciousness and integration within us.
Mhm.
It's not a static thing,
Right.
but a dynamic process
Okay.
that influences our thoughts, emotions, behaviors,
Wow.
and even our connection to the world around us.
So it's not like a fixed personality trait,
Right.
but more like the ever-changing energy that animates our whole being.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is how
Yeah.
Shen's qualities seem to resonate with key principles from quantum mechanics.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what?
Take, for instance, the wave-particle duality of light.
Oh, yeah, I remember that from physics class.
Light can act as both a wave and a particle.
Right.
Similarly, Shen has this intangible wave-like quality, yet it manifests through concrete actions and experiences,
Oh, okay.
like
Yeah.
a particle.
I see.
Yeah.
Wave-particle duality.
Yeah.
I never imagined it could apply to something like the human spirit.
Interesting, right?
How does this duality play out in our daily lives?
Well, think about how you can feel a range of emotions simultaneously.
Okay.
Calm, yet excited,
Hmm.
focused, yet aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
That's Shen's wave-like nature,
Mm.
existing in multiple states at once.
I see.
But then those feelings can manifest in very specific actions and choices,
Okay.
like choosing to express your excitement
Right.
or focusing your attention on a particular task.
Yeah.
That's Shen's particle-like nature,
Okay.
taking form in the real world.
So both at the same time.
Exactly.
That's pretty wild.
It is.
Okay, so I'm starting to see how this duality works.
Yeah,
Are there other quantum principles that connect to Shen?
absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Consider the concept of superposition in quantum mechanics,
Okay.
where a system can exist in multiple states until it's observed.
Okay.
This is strikingly similar to how Shen can embody calmness, agitation, focus,
Right.
and other states simultaneously.
Yeah.
It's our awareness and choices that bring one of these states to the forefront.
So if our Shen is like this quantum system,
Yeah,
always in flux,
right.
how does that change our understanding of ourselves and how we interact with the world?
That's a great question.
I mean,
It suggests we're not fixed entities, but rather dynamic beings in a constant state of becoming. It also hints at the power of our awareness to influence the state of our Shen.
so our choices matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just as observing a quantum system collapses it into a particular state,
Right.
our choices and actions can shape the expression of our Shen in the world.
That's a pretty empowering idea.
Isn't it?
It's like we have more agency than we might realize.
Yeah.
What other quantum connections did these notes point out?
Yeah. Well, one of the most mind-boggling concepts in quantum physics is entanglement,
Oh, yeah.
where particles can be interconnected regardless of distance.
Right.
The Shentegrity Framework suggests that this principle might apply to us as well.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
Think about practices like Gong or meditation,
Okay.
where practitioners believe their energies can influence each other even when physically separated.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's a possibility that we're all entangled at some level through our Shen.
It's a possibility.
Wow.
It is.
If that's true,
Yeah.
what are the implications?
It opens up some fascinating possibilities about the interconnectedness of all beings.
Oh,
Just imagine if our thoughts, emotions, and intentions can subtly influence others. It adds a whole new dimension to our relationships and social interactions.
Oh.
It also raises questions about collective consciousness and the power of shared intention.
That's pretty deep.
It is.
This is all incredibly interesting.
Yeah.
But I have to ask,
Yeah.
why doesn't classical physics offer a good explanation for Shen? I mean, we've relied on those laws to understand the universe for centuries.
It's a valid point.
Yeah.
But classical mechanics tends to focus on breaking things down into their smallest parts,
Right.
analyzing cause and effect in isolation.
Yeah.
Shen, however, is about the emergent properties of the whole system,
Okay.
the complex interplay of mind, body, and spirit.
Okay.
Classical physics also struggles to account for subtle energy flows like qi,
Right.
which is fundamental to TCM.
I see what you mean. So it's like trying to understand the experience of love by analyzing the chemical reactions in the brain.
Yeah.
You might see the pieces, but you miss the essence of the whole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Shen, with its intangible and dynamic nature, simply eludes the tools of classical mechanics.
It's like trying to measure the weight of a thought.
Right. We need a different framework to even begin to grasp its complexity.
Okay, so if classical mechanics falls short, what about Einstein's theory of relativity?
Okay.
How does that connect to Shen?
Now that's where things get even more intriguing.
Okay.
Shen's relationship with time, space, and individual experience
Right.
aligns remarkably well with the principles of relativity.
I'm all ears.
Yeah.
Give me an example of how relativity and Shen intersect.
Think about how your state of mind changes depending on the context.
Okay.
You experience different emotions, have different levels of energy, and even perceive time differently, depending on whether it's morning or night,
Okay.
whether you're alone or with others,
Right.
or whether you're in a peaceful environment or a stressful one. Just as our perception of time and space is relative,
Okay.
so too is Shen fluid and ever-changing.
That makes me think about those moments in deep meditation
Oh, yeah.
where time seems to slow down or even disappear altogether. Could that be an example of Shen's connection to the relativity of time?
Absolutely.
Wow.
And just as gravity warps spacetime, according to Einstein's theory,
Right.
Shen acts as a navigator of sorts, helping us navigate the twists and turns of life,
Yeah.
finding paths to harmony even amidst challenges.
So it helps us find balance.
Exactly.
It's like ancient wisdom is meeting modern physics in a cosmic dance.
It really is.
So where do we go from here?
Well, this is where those notes get really interesting.
Okay.
They highlight an ancient Taoist diagram called the Neijing Tu.
Neijing Tu.
Yeah.
What's that?
Which some researchers believe might represent the flow of quantum information within the human body.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
A diagram from ancient China depicting quantum processes.
Uh-huh.
Seriously?
I know it sounds wild.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay, but hear me out.
Okay, I'm listening.
The Neijing Tu depicts various energy channels and centers in the body.
Okay.
Recent scientific research suggests that structures called nanotubes might exist within our cells.
Nanotubes.
Yeah.
Inside our cells.
Acting as conduits for energy and information flow. Some believe these nanotubes could be the physical structures underlying the energy pathways shown in the Neijing Tu.
Okay,
Yeah.
nanotubes, quantum information,
Mm-hmm.
ancient diagrams.
It's pretty amazing.
This is getting pretty deep.
It is.
But how does this apply to our everyday lives?
Well,
Yeah.
what's the practical takeaway here? One of the most fascinating implications of this connection is how it relates to the concept of entanglement.
Oh, and we talked about the interconnectedness of particles in quantum physics.
Right.
What if we apply that idea to our own lives, to our spiritual and emotional experiences?
Okay.
The Shentegrity Framework suggests that we can become entangled with negative patterns,
Okay.
limiting beliefs,
Now,
or unhealthy attachments,
Yeah.
which hold us back from reaching our full potential.
so we're talking about a kind of spiritual entanglement.
Yeah,
That's a powerful image.
it is.
Are you saying that cultivating Shen could be a way to untangle ourselves from these negative patterns?
Precisely. By refining and strengthening our Shen through practices like meditation, Qigong,
Right.
or inner alchemy,
Yeah.
we can gain the awareness and energy needed to break free from these limiting influences.
So almost like a way to kind of clear out the negative energy.
Yeah. It's
Right.
like using the principles of quantum mechanics to achieve spiritual liberation.
That's an incredibly empowering thought.
It is.
It suggests we have much more control over our inner world
right.
and our destiny than we might realize.
Yeah.
But how does thermodynamics fit into all of this?
Okay.
Those notes mention something called the Zeroth law.
Okay.
I vaguely remember it has to do with systems being in equilibrium.
You're on the right track.
Okay.
The Zeroth law essentially states that if two systems are in equilibrium with a third system,
Okay.
then they're also in equilibrium with each other.
Right.
Now think of Shen as the force that strives for balance between the body,
Mm-hmm.
Jing,
Okay. Okay.
Qi, and mind Shen.
Okay.
It's like a cosmic thermostat,
Mm.
constantly working to harmonize these different aspects of our being.
So by cultivating Shen,
Yeah,
we're essentially optimizing our internal thermostat for greater balance and well-being.
exactly.
That's fascinating.
It is.
It's about finding that sweet spot
Yeah.
where everything is flowing smoothly
Right.
and we're in alignment with our true selves
Yeah.
and the world around us.
Yeah.
But achieving that balance isn't always easy.
It's not,
No.
but it's worth striving for.
You're telling me.
Yeah.
My life feels anything but balanced most of the time.
I hear you.
But I'm curious,
Yeah.
how does this idea of Shen as a balancing force square with the fact that we often experience so much inner turmoil and conflict?
Okay.
If Shen is supposed to bring harmony,
Right.
why do we struggle so much?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it brings us to one of the most intriguing aspects of the Shentegrity Framework, the concept of antidotes to entanglement.
Antidotes, you mean like remedies for these negative patterns and blockages
Yeah,
that disrupt our Shen?
exactly.
Okay. So before we took a pause, we were about to dive into some of these specific antidotes from TCM that can help us address what we've been calling spiritual entanglement.
Oh, right. Yeah.
What could you tell us about those?
Well, we were just talking about grounding as one powerful approach. It connects us to earth energies, which can help stabilize our Shen and clarify our energy field.
Right, like finding a solid footing against the swirling chaos of life.
Exactly.
What other practices did these notes on the Shentegrity Framework recommend?
Well, meditation is another powerful tool
Okay.
for cultivating Shen and dissolving those unwanted connections.
Okay.
It quiets the mind
Yeah.
and allows us to observe our thoughts and emotions without getting swept away by them. This detachment, in turn, helps us loosen the grip of those entangled patterns.
So it's about creating space for awareness.
Yeah.
Almost like stepping back from the tangled mess to see it more clearly.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
exactly.
Yeah.
That clarity helps us make conscious choices about which energies to nurture and which to release.
That brings to mind something you touched on earlier.
Yeah.
Inner alchemy, or Neijing.
Right.
What exactly is that, and how does it act as an antidote to entanglement?
Neijing is a fascinating practice from the Taoist tradition. It involves a range of techniques aimed at transforming and harmonizing energy flows within us. Think of it as a subtle inner alchemy, where we consciously work with our energy to refine and purify our Shen.
Okay, so if meditation is about creating space and awareness,
Yeah,
inner alchemy is about actively shaping and refining our energy.
that's a great way to put it.
Okay.
And by transforming our internal energy dynamics through Neijing, we can shift those fixed negative patterns into more fluid, beneficial ones.
So it's not just about detaching from negative energies,
You're right.
but also about cultivating positive ones and guiding their flow in a more harmonious way.
Precisely.
Okay.
Inner alchemy empowers us to become active participants in the evolution of our Shen, rather than simply reacting to external forces or getting stuck in repetitive patterns.
So we're taking control.
Yeah.
You know, this discussion of inner alchemy reminds me of something else you mentioned earlier. The Neijing Tu, that ancient Taoist diagram.
Oh, right.
Is there a connection between those two?
There might be. The Neijing Tu depicts a complex network of energy channels and centers within the body. Some researchers believe it could be a map of those very pathways we engage with in inner alchemy. And remember those nanotubes we discussed?
Oh, yeah.
Well, some scientists speculate that fascia, connective tissue that runs throughout our bodies,
Right.
might contain nanotubes.
Hold on. So you're saying that fascia, the stuff that holds us together physically, might actually be involved in this subtle energetic communication at the quantum level.
It's a fascinating possibility that researchers are actively exploring.
Wow.
Fascia's ability to conduct bioelectricity and mechanical force aligns perfectly with what we know about nanotubes. It's like our bodies have this hidden communication network we're only beginning to understand.
Okay, my mind is officially blown.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
If that's true, it adds a whole new layer of meaning to the Neijing Tu, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Wow.
It suggests that this ancient diagram might not just be a symbolic representation, but an actual blueprint of the quantum processes happening within us. And inner alchemy could be a way of tapping into those processes and consciously shaping them.
Wow. It's a lot to take in.
It is.
So if fascia really is involved in this quantum communication,
Yeah.
what does that mean for our understanding of consciousness?
Yeah.
Is there a connection there?
That's one of the biggest mysteries, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some scientists believe that consciousness itself might arise from these quantum processes happening within microtubules, those tiny structures within our cells.
Okay.
And if fascia is indeed a network of microtubules,
Right.
then the Neijing Tu, with its intricate pathways, might be showing us how consciousness integrates throughout our bodies and energy fields.
That's such a profound thought.
It is.
It's like those ancient Taoist masters were tapping into something far beyond what they could have consciously known at the time.
Yeah.
But how does this all relate back to Shen?
Well, remember that Shen is the force of awareness and integration within us. It's the bridge between our physical bodies and our intangible spirit.
Yeah.
If consciousness arises from these quantum processes, then Shen could be the energetic expression of that consciousness, the force that animates and guides it.
So Shen is both the expression of our consciousness and the force that shapes it.
Exactly.
It's like a two-way street.
It is a dynamic interplay, a constant dance between the tangible and the intangible.
This is all incredibly fascinating.
Yeah,
But I have to admit, my brain is starting to feel a bit overloaded.
I hear you.
Let's circle back to those antidotes for a moment.
Okay.
We've talked about grounding and meditation.
Right.
What about inner alchemy?
Yeah.
What specific practices does that involve?
Inner alchemy encompasses a wide array of techniques.
Okay.
One common approach is Qigong,
Yeah.
which involves coordinating breath movement and visualization to cultivate and refine Qi,
Right.
the vital energy that flows through the body.
Mm-hmm.
By strengthening and balancing our Qi, we create a more supportive foundation for our Shen to flourish.
So Qigong is like prepping the soil for Shen to blossom.
That's a beautiful analogy.
Okay.
And there are other practices, too,
Mhm.
such as mindfulness meditation,
Yeah.
which can help us cultivate a state of non-judgmental awareness.
Right.
This allows us to observe our thoughts and emotions without getting entangled in them.
Right. It's about creating that space between ourselves and our experiences, which we talked about earlier.
Exactly.
Are there any practices specifically designed to work with entanglement itself?
Actually, yes.
Oh, really?
Some forms of Qigong focus on dissolving energetic blockages and cultivating a smooth flow of Qi throughout the body.
Okay.
This can help untangle those knots of stagnant energy that contribute to negative patterns and emotional imbalances.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
By clearing those blockages, we're creating space for a more harmonious flow of energy, which can then support the flourishing of Shen.
Right.
It's like clearing a path for the river of our consciousness to flow freely.
Precisely. And this relates back to the Zeroth law of thermodynamics, which we discussed earlier. Shen, in its essence, strives for equilibrium and harmony.
Right.
By engaging in these practices, we're aligning ourselves with that natural tendency toward balance.
So it's not about forcing things into place,
Right.
but rather about creating the conditions for balance to emerge naturally.
Exactly.
It's like we're working with the natural flow of the universe.
Exactly.
And when we align ourselves with that flow,
Yeah,
we tap into a deeper wisdom and power that guides us toward our highest potential.
I agree.
This is all incredibly empowering, but it also raises a lot of questions. If Shen can influence other people's energies, as the Shentegrity Framework suggests,
Yeah.
then the implications for collective consciousness are pretty mind-boggling.
It is pretty mind-boggling.
What do you think?
You're right.
Yeah.
It opens up a whole new realm of exploration.
Yeah.
It suggests that we're all interconnected in ways we're only beginning to understand.
Right.
And that our individual actions, thoughts, and intentions have a ripple effect that extends far beyond ourselves.
That's both exciting and a bit daunting,
It is.
but it also underscores the importance of cultivating our Shen and using it wisely.
Right?
If we're all connected, then the state of our individual Shen contributes to the collective energy field.
Absolutely.
So it's like we're all drops in the same ocean,
Yeah.
interconnected and influencing the overall state of the ocean.
Exactly.
And this brings us back to the importance of cultivating Shen.
Right.
If our thoughts, emotions, and intentions can have a ripple effect on the collective,
Yeah.
then cultivating a harmonious and balanced Shen becomes crucial.
Yeah.
Not just for our personal well-being, but for the well-being of the whole.
Right.
It's like our individual Shen contributes to the overall health of the collective consciousness.
Precisely.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Thank you.
It makes you realize the impact our inner work can have on the world around us.
Yeah.
But this also raises questions about free will, doesn't it?
Sure does.
If we're all influencing each other, where does individual choice begin and end?
That's a deep philosophical question that has no easy answers.
Right.
But perhaps we can look at it this way.
Okay.
While we may be influenced by the collective energy field, we still have the capacity to choose how we respond to those influences.
So it's not about denying the interconnectedness,
Right.
but about recognizing our own agency within that web of relationships.
Exactly.
Okay.
We can choose to align with energies that promote harmony, compassion, and growth,
Yeah.
or we can get swept away by energies that lead to conflict, negativity, and stagnation.
It's like we have a responsibility to become conscious navigators of our own Shen,
Yeah.
choosing the currents that lead us in a positive direction.
Well said.
And this brings us back to the practices we've been discussing.
Right.
Grounding meditation, Qigong, inner alchemy.
Yeah.
These are all tools that empower us to cultivate a more balanced, resilient, and compassionate Shen,
Yeah.
which in turn can have a ripple effect on the collective.
Right.
So it's not just about personal growth,
Yeah.
but about contributing to a larger shift in consciousness.
Exactly.
By refining our own Shen, we become part of a collective movement toward a more awakened and harmonious world.
Right.
This has been such an incredible journey, and I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of this vast and mysterious topic.
There's always more to explore.
Always more.
But hopefully this deep dive has given you a taste of the profound connections between ancient wisdom and modern science, and inspired you to keep questioning, exploring, and cultivating your own Shen.
Absolutely. And for our listeners who want to dive deeper,
Yeah.
I'd recommend checking out resources on traditional Chinese medicine, quantum biology,
Yeah.
and the Neijing Tu.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
There's a whole universe of knowledge waiting to be discovered.
Well said.
And remember, the journey of self-discovery is an ongoing process.
It is.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep cultivating your Shen.
I like that.
And as always, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep seeking, keep growing, and keep shining your light.
Wonderful.
Okay, so we've explored these fascinating connections between Shen and these mind-bending concepts from quantum mechanics and relativity.
Right.
Now, I'm really curious to dig into this question of reality itself. If Shen operates at this quantum level, does it suggest that reality is more fluid and interconnected than we typically think?
That's a question that has puzzled philosophers and scientists for ages, and one that quantum mechanics has brought to the forefront.
Okay.
You see, in the quantum world, the observer isn't separate from the observed.
Right.
The act of observation influences the system being observed.
So you're saying that our consciousness,
Yeah.
our Shen,
Uh-huh.
actually plays a role in shaping reality.
That's one interpretation, and it's a pretty profound one.
It is.
If Shen is our interface with this quantum realm, then our thoughts, intentions, and actions might have a much bigger impact on the world around us than we realize.
Wow, so we're not just passive observers.
Right.
But active participants in creating reality.
Yeah.
That's a huge responsibility.
It is, and it aligns with many spiritual traditions that emphasize the power of human consciousness to shape reality.
And if Shen can influence other people's energies, like these notes suggest,
Right.
then what happens to the idea of individual consciousness?
Yeah.
Does it even exist if we're all interconnected at this level?
That's a fascinating question, and one that challenges our typical Western worldview of the individual as a separate, independent entity.
Right.
The idea of collective consciousness, which has been around for centuries in many cultures, suggests that we're all part of a larger web of consciousness influencing and being influenced by each other constantly.
So it's like we're all drops in the same ocean.
Exactly.
Interconnected and influencing the overall state of the ocean.
Exactly. And this brings us back to the importance of cultivating Shen. If our thoughts, emotions, and intentions can have a ripple effect on the collective, then cultivating a harmonious and balanced Shen becomes crucial, not just for our personal well-being, but for the well-being of the whole.
It's like our individual Shen contributes to the overall health of the collective consciousness.
Precisely.
That's a beautiful image.
Thank you.
Makes you realize the impact our inner work can have on the world around us.
Yeah.
But this also raises questions about free will, doesn't it?
It does.
If we're all influencing each other, where does individual choice begin and end?
That's a deep philosophical question that has no easy answers.
Right.
But perhaps we can look at it this way.
Okay.
While we may be influenced by the collective energy field, we still have the capacity to choose how we respond to those influences.
So it's not about denying the interconnectedness.
Right.
But about recognizing our own agency within that web of relationships.
Exactly. We can choose to align with energies that promote harmony, compassion, and growth. Or we can get swept away by energies that lead to conflict, negativity, and stagnation.
It's like we have a responsibility to become conscious navigators of our own Shen,
Yeah.
choosing the currents that lead us in a positive direction.
Well said. And this brings us back to the practices we've been discussing.
Yeah.
Grounding meditation, qigong, inner alchemy.
Right.
These are all tools that empower us to cultivate a more balanced, resilient, and compassionate Shen,
Yeah.
which in turn can have a ripple effect on the collective.
So it's not just about personal growth,
Right.
but about contributing to a larger shift in consciousness.
Exactly. By refining our own Shen, we become part of a collective movement toward a more awakened and harmonious world.
This has been such an incredible journey, and I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of this vast and mysterious topic.
There's always more to explore. But hopefully this deep dive has given you a taste of the profound connections between ancient wisdom and modern science, and inspired you to keep questioning, exploring, and cultivating your own Shen.
Absolutely. And for our listeners who want to dive deeper,
Yeah.
I'd recommend checking out resources on traditional Chinese medicine, quantum biology, and the Neijing Tu.
Yeah, good idea.
There's a whole universe of knowledge waiting to be discovered.
Well said.
And remember, the journey of self-discovery is an ongoing process. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep cultivating your Shen. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Shen. Until next time, keep seeking going, keep growing, and keep shining your light.
Wonderful. It's been a pleasure.